The Public Protector has had a very difficult week. First, the President suspended her. Then the High Court dismissed her application to have Parliament review her fitness to hold office. She also requested that the President not be allowed to suspend her, pending investigations into his own conduct. But the Public Servants Association of South Africa has welcomed her suspension. I'm joined now by Claude Naicker, the PSA's KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Manager. Claude, thank you so much for your time this evening. Can you tell us first off what percentage of those working in the Public Protector's Office are represented by your organisation?
It's a very good evening to you. Majority of the members do belong to the Public Servants Association throughout the country. The majority of them are here in Gauteng, where the head office is. And then obviously you have the satellite and provincial offices throughout the country. We are the majority union at the bargaining chamber of Public Protector.
So, and I'd like to read from your statement here, and you say that you are welcoming the Public Protector's suspension, and one of the reasons is the ill treatment of employees, victimization and suppressing of different views. Can you tell us a little bit more about this kind of treatment under the Public Protector's tenure?
The PSA has been loggerheads with the Office of the Public Protector for a number of years now. As I said, we have majority members at the institution. Our shop stewards are obviously responsible for ensuring that the terms and conditions of these employees are safeguarded, policies are adhered to itself. On a number of occasions, these shop stewards have raised issues regarding appointments of officials that were done under dubious circumstances. These officials never met the required minimum requirements, or some of them were even charged by the previous departments, but the Public Protector saw it fit to actually try and, she actually appointed these officials itself. On other occasions, as far as the work is concerned, most of our members are investigators. Some of these reports, they're responsible for obviously compiling reports into investigations. Some of these reports were sensibly changed by the Office of the Public Protector without valid reasons to these investigators. And when these investigators inquired as to why these reports were changed or didn't meet the criteria in terms of the Public Protector Act, they were then victimized. 2 of our shop stewards were subjected to a disciplinary action. They were suspended unlawfully. The chairperson of the disciplinary inquiry found them not guilty. She then decided to have a second disciplinary hearing, which was unlawful, where she employed an outside chairperson to try and investigate. We had to then bring an urgent application to the Labour Court to try and stop her from obviously dismissing these employees. As of recently, we have written to her where she's made known investigative reports where the signatures of the investigators were made known to those that were investigated. And we found this really, really surprising, because this obviously poses a serious threat to these investigators and their family, because those that are investigated are now privy to who has actually investigated them and brought evidence to the Office of the Public Protector itself. On other occasions, terms and conditions she does not adhere to. We have a bargaining unit where matters regarding employees are negotiated, but this ostensibly does not disregard this chamber, and she obviously unilaterally implements her own conditions of service. When we bring this to her attention, she behaves very unruly. She threatens the union, she threatens the shop stewards, and she then subjects them to a lot of victimization. So the relationship between the PSA and the Public Protector of the years has been one very unconducive, one that is not an atmosphere in which that we can negotiate and reason with itself.
Those who work in the Office of the Public Protector are doing, in many cases, very sensitive work, very important work to all South Africans. And one can only assume that this kind of work environment damages the credibility of all of the reports that the Public Protector, Mkhwebane, has issued during her time in office.
I think the commencement of this victimization started when our shop stewards, who are senior investigators, were working on two very sensitive cases, cases that obviously were highlighted in the media, where they brought it to the attention of the public protector that certain vital information were left out of these reports. They were then subjected to a hearing by an outside service provider who were attorneys, where they were called into investigations and they were basically interrogated. During that process, their laptops were confiscated without due diligence being followed, because these laptops contain sensitive information not only on the cases that they were working on, but prior cases. Also, the union activities were contained on these laptops. These laptops were subsequently returned to them a month later with a lot of information that was actually erased from these laptops itself. So that obviously compromised the investigation. Despite our members bring it to the attention of the public protector, these reports are not in keeping with the Act. These reports lack certain information that we've investigated itself. Some of these reports that were compiled by these investigators have their signatures based upon these reports. Those reports, for some reason, public protector made those reports available to those that were investigated. And these investigators subsequently were threatened, well, we don't know by who, and we can only speculate by those that were investigated. Now, these investigations are conducted by the Office of the Public Protector. It's not under by an individual itself. So this information should not have been shared out in the public itself. This obviously poses a serious threat to the lives of these investigators and their family. And when we brought it to the attention of the public protector, she did nothing. She just sat back and decided, no, you can do whatever you want to. We will continue with the fashion in which we are conducting our investigations. We will go ahead itself. So,
do these incidents form part of the inquiry into the public protector's fitness to hold office and the impeachment proceedings against her?
Absolutely, absolutely. We made, through our attorneys, made a number of inputs to the committee that's obviously investigating and conducting this impeachment process. We've been doing this for a number of years itself. So at the end of the day, we absolutely glad, we're happy that this process is unfolding, and we're confident that the findings would come to a stage where we find that she's terribly unfit to hold office.
We know that the Deputy Public Protector, Koleka Kaleka, is taking over the duties of the Public Protector, and you've asked that she restore the integrity of the office. Do you trust that she's in a position to be able to do that?
Well, she comes from another government department where we've had a lot of interaction with her. We found her to be one that listens. She takes into account comments, inputs that are made by organized labor. We trust and hope that she will follow suit at the Public Protector's Office, and that she will restore the credibility of the Public Protector's Office. It's a Chapter 9 institution. A lot of people have faith in this institution. And if that office is not run well, you have turmoil among staff, you're definitely going to have a problem. And we're confident, and we're calling upon the Deputy Public Protector to restore the confidence in this institution that she has.
Well, thank you very much for your time and for your inputs. That was the PSA's KZN Provincial Manager, Claude Nike, saying that the Public Servants Association of South Africa welcomes the suspension of Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane.